Ladies and gentlemen, the death of a Titan. June 19th, on my way to work, in the old coupe here. Day like any other day. And then someone not paying attention ran a red light. Fortunately for me, the Mark II Jetta and Golf were rated highest in their class in side impact rating among all compact cars sold in the United States. And it showed. This was a Ford Edge, big SUV, 40 miles an hour, did not attempt to stop. This was no brakes whatsoever. Hit me dead center. And somehow this car kept that out of me. Inside here is where I was sitting. You can see the seat, very narrow. Footwell, see where the clutch is? There's metal. Sidewall touching the clutch. The entire center portion of the console shoved over. This stock right here, this is actually the stereo knob. It goes to the amplifier in the back. That was underneath the fuse panel, which is now pretty heavily smushed inside there. The metal is actually separating. It was such a horrific hit that it tore, so it almost penetrated all the way into my feet. So, pretty hard hit there. Steering wheel is spinning freely. I believe it probably sheared off the entire internal bit. To look in the center here, move a few things. This is a look straight down. You can see that my seat is pushed all the way over against the e-brake handle, along with being narrowed. It pushed against the door right here. That's solid. This piece right here actually cut me through my pants. The metal portion of the bolster right here gave me a really nasty bruise on my leg. Fortunately, I guess, I did not see the impact coming, and so I was pretty relaxed. And my injuries were something inside my shoulder, my left shoulder. We're still not sure what that was. My arm was actually up here on the sill. My forearm was hit by this portion of the mirror. We kind of added up the measurements and whatnot, and I'm still pulling chunks from my mirror glass out of my forearm. I've got a big bone bruise where that was at. I have a fracture in my pelvis where the hip ball socket rests. It was what they call non-displaced, so it didn't have to have surgery, which was good. It is healing pretty well. I'm doing okay enough to get out here and start getting stuff out of this poor car. I am going to try to save these seat covers and whatnot, because if I find another frame, these seats are in pretty decent shape, provided they're not tore up alongside that door panel down there. I'm hoping not, because they are a match set, front and rear, Recaro Trophy. But coming back outside the car here, if we look down the side here, you can see where that line of the bumper, that's where the car was supposed to bow out. This side, it's actually pulled, because notice how the bow of the car is very abrupt. It bent the entire front portion of the frame. hood, as you can see, is at an angle. That's how much it actually twisted the car. So, broke at least one of the radiator supports. I can see it's sitting in there kind of wonky. This wheel leaned over, the shock tower is pushed over a long way. But we are today going to start cutting the poor girl apart, start getting off of her what we can, what little bits will survive. We can see that my repairs from my crash before, there's welding along there. That all held all the way across the bottom, back to the fender. That entire piece, as you can see, held together and actually pulled the original part of the car. This portion of the fender held all the way up. These welds here held. This portion pulled with the car. And you can see that where the damage actually was is it ripped right where the latch was at. It literally gripped so hard. I believe the tear in the front that we saw on the inside, I believe that's actually where the door hinge is at. This car did have side impact beams. You can actually see kind of where this rib is. That is where that beam held together and kept that other vehicle from coming in any more than it did. Very, very lucky considering the protrusion into the vehicle. We're kind of just guesstimating about 18 inches at this point right here, right in the front part from where this tear is up to the front tire. That's about 18 inches pushed into the vehicle. So pretty unbelievable what kind of an impact this little girl took. But Lady in Red is definitely a hero. Because other than a night in the hospital, I have been fairly okay. You see that beautiful 4,000 mile engine. I will be taking that home, obviously. And then whatever else is under here. Looks like they did cut my battery. They do that just to make sure that if there's any electrical shorting, that it will be safe to move around. Engine is sitting pretty cattywampus, so I'm wondering if we've got some broken motor mounts here and there. That shock tower is pushed in quite a ways. You can see that firewall has a big buckle right there. I'd like to save the wiring harness here, but I think it's going to take a lot of cutting to get that out, because as you can see, that front part of that sill there, she is bowed a lot more than normal. So it's going to be a lot of fun trying to get some of this stuff apart. But here's where it starts. I just wanted to show you guys what a 32-year-old Volkswagen, if taken proper care of, can do even when facing a big, heavy, modern vehicle. That right there is actually part of where her bumper protruded into my car. 40-mile-an-hour impact, 2014 Ford Edge. Did not hit the brakes at all. And yet, I was able to stand the next day. No surgery. Pretty incredible what these machines are capable of. Which is why I will never drive anything at all except a Volkswagen.